What's up, sports to the bone family? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to another video, my viewers and subscribers. So we have a couple of stories to take a look at in this video. I am going to be giving you 10 players that I personally believe are already on the plane to Australia. Yes, my peeps. So I'm not giving you a full squad. I am just going to be selecting 10 players that I think they are already in their seat and they have already buckled up in terms of being in that West Indies T20 squad. There are a couple of other players that I'm going to be looking at that are probably almost there also. So not the full 15-man squad, just 10 players that I think they are already seated on the plane and buckled in. Plus, we are going to take a look at some reactions coming out of India. We know that yesterday they named their T20 squad for the World Cup. And the fans over there in India, they are reacting. Especially after seeing one of the most outstanding youngsters, one of the most talented youngsters there being left out. That in Samson. He was left out, my peeps. So they are saying he's the most unfairly treated cricketer in the history of India's cricket. So we're going to take a look at some of the comments. Plus, we're going to talk a little bit about the top 10 test bowlers in history. Well, the top 10 highest wicket takers in history. After completing a victory over South Africa, Stuart Broad has actually, climbed up on that list. So we're going to remind you of those, of the 10 players that 10 top test wicket takers of all time, and then we're also going to be taking a look at the CPL table. Yes, my peeps, with the St. Lucia leg now done and dusted, I am going to be sharing with you guys, or reminding you basically, what the table is looking like as the players move on to the next leg. So here we go now, my peeps, and let me just say this from now. The comment section is open, as you can see. So after I give my top 10, or well, not top 10, 10 players that I think are already on the plane and buckled in, you can go ahead and also give me your 10 players. Or if you want to go as far as give me your squad, no problem. Once the West Indies put out that squad, I will be doing a review of the squad and I will be talking about it. But I just want to focus on these couple of players here that I think have stated their claim and they are head and shoulders above the rest from my point of view. So the first man I have on the list is Kyle Mayers. I think he has only failed once with the bat so far in the CPL for the Barbados Royals. Maybe only one time he has failed, and I think he was in the game against Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken. So Kyle Mayers is definitely there. Would have proven that he's definitely a player that you can count on. He has done so at the international level and he has also done so at the franchise level. So he's there for me. In the seat, first class seat, and buckled in. Brandon King, another one that has taken up the mantle since Evan Lewis has been out of the West Indies team. Brandon King is also in a seat and buckled in for me. Yes, my viewers and subscribers. A couple of games in the CPL here, he hasn't really fired, but he is in and buckled down. We have the captain, Pooran. He is yet to fire in the CPL, but he is the captain, and more often than not, Pooran will come good where international cricket is concerned. So he's in a seat and he's buckled in, but we're not giving him any in-flight meal. We're not giving him any in-flight meal, so we don't want him to feel too comfortable. You understand? Because we want him to get some runs in the CPL. Not saying that he's not in the team. He's definitely in the team and he's the captain. But we are just saying that he's seated and buckled in, but we're going to let him fly without any in-flight meal, so he can shake up. Shemran Hetmeyer, he's in and buckled in. Recently, returning to the West Indies setup. Not having the best of starts as a captain for the Guyana Amazon Warriors. Where his batting is concerned, I am not too worried about that. He has performed for his team, but he has made a couple of decisions where, well, maybe not a couple, probably two or so that I can highlight, that I would necessarily agree with so far in the CPL. But he is in and buckled in. He will not be captaining the West Indies World Cup team there, so I'm not worried about that. He's seated and buckled in. First class, just like the others. So Brandon King, Kyle Mayers, Poor and Hetmyer, they are in first class seat. The next man that we have in the first class seat is the vice captain, Ravman Powell. Very impressed with how he's captaining the West the Jamaica Talawas. Not only is his captaincy good so far, but he's scoring runs consistently, scoring half centuries. You understand? Leading his team like a real captain. So he's there. First class seat also, buckled in and well seated. Alright? Jason Hola is also there. We put him in second class. Our coach, if you want to call it that. Right? But he's there, buckled in as also. Right? We have a little child in the back, behind his seat door. You know, when you're traveling in the plane, we have a little child in the seat behind Jason Hola, just kicking his seat like this, letting him know that, here what, continue to pull up your socks, make sure that you don't drop the ball in the rest of the CPL, because you are rising back to where you are supposed to be. So he's there, but we are kicking him in the back, right? We also have Odin Smith. So remember, we're talking about 10, right? Jason Hola is 6, Odin Smith would be 7. So he's there beside Jason Hola in the second class, right? And we also have a little child behind him in the next seat, kicking him in the back also, letting him know that you are improving, you have showed improvement over your last couple of international ODI and T20 games. You haven't done too badly in the CPL as yet, right, so far. So we're going to continue to nudge him in the back. And this nudge is to say to him, we are seeing you, you are doing well with the ball. But remember, if you're going to come into the team and bat number probably 7, 8, anywhere thereabout, you are going to be expected to score some runs, So the nudge that he's getting in his back is to remind him that he needs to be scoring. So he's there. Right, number 8, Akil Hussein. He is seated and buckled in first class, right up beside Hetmyer and King and Mayers and them guys. Akil Hussein is seated and buckled in with champagne in hand. So he's well settled on his way to Australia. Hopefully he will be fully fit and everything. But in terms of whether or not we are worried about his performance, we're not worried about that. So he's seated and settled and buckled in. Alzari Joseph is the next man. Right? So Hussein was 8. Alzari Joseph is 9. And Alzari Joseph is up top also in first class, seated and buckled in with rum, with champagne in hand. So Alzari Joseph seated and buckled in so far. And the final man that is seated and buckled in for me is Obed Mackay. Seated and buckled right in. Not in the first class. I'm going to hitch him up in second class with the other guys. Right? Definitely he's in my playing 11, you know. He's in my playing 11, so maybe the only reason I don't give him a more comfortable seat in first class is because I want him to realize that he's going for too many runs or too much runs in the last couple of games, internationally and also franchise-wise. He's in my playing 11, but we just want him to get a little bumpy ride in second class, they are in coach. If you say, here what? You need to stop giving us so much runs. So those are the 10 players that are seated and buckled in for me. Kyle Mayers, Brandon King, Puran, Shemran Hetmeyer, Powell, Jason Holler, Smith, Hussein, Alzari, and Obed McCoy. Not saying these are this is the way in which you have to pick the team if you're going to pick 10 out of all 10 of these guys. Not saying you have to play them like that where batting lineup is concerned. But these guys, for me, they are seated and buckled in. The nether guy, let me see now. I have a couple of guys. I have one guy in particular that if I want to round off this top 10 and say, let me just pick my playing 11. It would be Goody Kishmoti probably. Right? It would be Goody Kishmoti if I want to say, alright, let me just round it off and pick 11. But the other players that I have closely tagging behind, they are about to check in to get on the plane. But they are not on the plane as yet. Fletcher, who is probably we would probably look at as a backup keeper. And Johnson Charles, these guys are tackling with each other. As much as though I didn't want to go back down the road where those guys are concerned, we definitely need a backup keeper. Can't go with Puran alone. So those guys are fighting it out. Romari Shepherd is also right in that mix with them. You understand? He's right there. Because we have to look at it and say, if something wrong with Odin Smith, we might need a man to come in that can do some hitting at the back end. So those are the players that are seated and buckled, and these are the guys that are looking to get in. So as I said, the comment section is open. You can go ahead and give me your seated and buckled players that are on their way to Australia. Let us move on now, my peeps. Right? So, as I said yesterday, India announced their T20 World Cup squad. And based on what I am reading, the people of India, quite a few of them, trying to turn the place upside down, saying that Samson should be in that squad. And it goes without saying, very talented young man, very good player. More often than not, he performs, right? And there's a lot of tweets that would have gone out. So I'm going to read some of the tweets that the fans have been sending out. One fan went ahead and tweeted, most unfairly treated player in the history of India cricket. Another one tweeted, the best Indian T20 batsman in the last 3 years, Sanju Samson. Another one tweeted, when politics gets involved, hard work and talent gets demolished. So when politics gets involved, hard work and talent gets demolished. Another one tweeted, BCCI is purposefully ignoring Sanju Samson. And it goes on and on and on, my viewers and subscribers. People are venting, people are reaching out, and people are tweeting, as I said, calling for this BCCI to cut out the foolishness and stop the politics and the favoritism. Anyways, as they would say, rich people business. Rich people business. India just sent a second team or a third string team to the Caribbean and beat us. So I am not worried about them. Rich people business that. So just to remind you now, my viewers and subscribers, South Africa just went down to us to England. Captain of South Africa still not accepting Basball, saying that they didn't play fantastic or do anything extra. What they did was play at a good tempo and regular cricket. Now, what I want to focus on coming out of that game is the fact that Stuart Broad would have taken quite a few wickets, and he has actually moved up in the top 10, up on the list where the top 10 most wickets are concerned. Well, the top 10 bowlers that would have taken most test wickets. So I'm just going to remind you of the top 10. Nathan Lyon. They call him the GOAT over there in Australia. I don't know why. I don't know why they call him the GOAT because Anyways, 438. Nathan Lyon sits at number 10. Number 9, Dale Steyn. Probably one of the most intimidating fast bowlers of all time. He wasn't a big bird as in Joel Garner. He wasn't a Jason Holder height. He wasn't big and tall, but you know, he was menacing running in and he bowled with good pace. Was able to move the ball all over the place. Dale Steyn, 439 test wickets. Ashwin, the spinner there from India, 442. Courtney Walsh, the West Indies female coach, 519, is at 7. At 6 we have Glenn McGrath, great pacer from out of Australia, 563. Stuart Broad, as I said, no, he's at number 5, right? Number 5, 566. At number 4 we have Anil Kumble from India, 619. Another great spinner. Number 3, still going strong, James Anderson, right? 667. Number 2, the late great Shane Warne, 667. No, James Anderson, 667 at number 3. Number 2, Shane Warne, the late great Shane Warne, 708. And standing above the rest, and a pinnacle, the man that could spin the ball on a glass from out of Sri Lanka, Muthaiya Muralitharan, and 800. So that is the top 10 as it relates to the highest wicket takers in Test cricket, my viewers. Now, before we go, just to touch a little bit on the CPL, we just finished off this we just finished off the St. Lucia leg, and Barbados, they sit at top of the table. Having played 5 games, they would have won all 5. And, you know, they are all the way up there. Jamaica played 5, won 3. Right? And they would have, Jamaica would have won 3. St. Lucia Kings, they are 3, played 6, won 2. St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots, they would have played 6 and they were able to secure 1. Guyana Amazon Warriors played 4, secured 1. TKR played 4, secured 1 also. So that is how it is looking, my viewers and subscribers, in terms of the CPL table as they go into the next phase. So these are the stories making this one, my viewers and subscribers. Hope you enjoyed a little bit longer than usual, but some good information going out there. Big up on yourself, my peeps. I will touch base later on.